I did not choose this because if I did, it would not be this way. No one wants to talk trauma because it hurts. And we aren't here to be traumatized, so we have to talk about it. It's the only way to overcome it. The only way out is through. The same thing applies to the unnecessary, unacceptable, immoral suffering and injustice that is far from acceptable and way too prevalent in our societies, because this world is a beautiful place. But too many are neglecting the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life, because life is spiritual. We all have spirits. That's our soul. We all have feelings, emotions, and we have to express ourselves because we're human. And I love myself. I actually like myself. I've finally healed the trauma enough to truly be my own best friend. And I wouldn't be here without God, without love, without trusting my gut when I was 11. And somehow understanding from my soul that fear is evil, is weakness, and love is life, is God. And when people are causing me harm and I'm just trying to be a human, it's wrong. And I've always been an artist. Like, I didn't even choose that, man. Like, we don't choose who we are, and we don't choose the jobs that God gives us through our passions. And I didn't choose my path. I didn't choose my parents, that's for sure. I didn't choose to be abused when I was 11, and probably, at least on one occasion, there was an occurrence that my brain was too young to remember, my heart is telling me, but I won't pretend to know something if I don't know for sure. And I wouldn't be talking about these things if people wouldn't be neglecting their trauma and allowing it to fuck up the world we live in, man. Like, and we can't let evil leaders who are nefarious control our world, because this world belongs to people of virtue. The devil knows that fear is weakness, and so he tries to convince God or good this. And regardless of whether or not you believe in God, fear, evil, like if you steal from someone, that comes from a place of lack. That's weakness, not anything close to power. And righteous fury doesn't give a fuck what you think. You know what I mean? Like, it's about the message. And I'm not going to overthink things because I'm too busy deeply thinking things. I love thinking. And we've been taught not to be ourselves, but what everybody else wants us to be. And not to think for ourselves, nor really even to think, but to regurgitate information. Of course we need to know basic math and reading and writing if we want to truly be, like, successful. But did you know that our school systems are not serving our children? Like, not where I live, but I have to talk to humanity, not just my society, because this is about humanity, and it's about the definition of such, and it's about our purpose here, because this life does have meaning. And I can't help but it was subconscious until recently, I do think. I think I knew, kind of, almost, but it was subconscious. I've been seeing people neglect the mental, emotional, and spiritual sides of life so terribly for so long. It's like I've neglected the physical side as a joke, and, like, only cared about things that are of soul and heart, because I have not been able to suppress my emotions ever. ever. But I figured out how to express them healthier. And, like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, this washes off, you know? I thought it would be nice to bring it in, like in a creative, fun way, because it's so fun to make art. Like, and, you know, that trauma that perverts your heart with fear, regardless of whether it turns into insecurity or disrespecting yourself, by, you know, having no self-worth and not recognizing yourself as sacred, or, you know, whether it's like repeating the trauma because it's what you were taught when you were a child. We have to work through these things and heal from them. And we have to express ourselves. Expression is the most powerful medicine. And if I said that weird, I feel like one of my fun voices. It's not the right time this second. Maybe later on. Is this focusing? Look, I'm just gonna say it right now, okay? I'm new to this whole, like, drawing and recording a freaking video of it at the same time thing. And that's okay. Because we're human beings. And we are not supposed to be perfect. Like, and apparently spiritual teachers are fucking ditzy, but they're not better than other people. They're just held to a higher standard. And, like, I wish that I didn't have to do this, because God is in all of our souls. And we should already be using such to decipher between good and evil. We should have learned these lessons back when we were killing people in the name of quote-unquote Jesus, because that's not Jesus. Jesus would never do that, ever. Just because they didn't know his name, as if you need to know a word at all to know God, and to know that God is love, because that is basic common sense. It's just completely unfathomable to me that that could even happen. And I am aware this is here, it's okay, I may or may not rip it off, but I love art, and I love creating art, and I love having fun and enjoying my life, because life is a gift. It is not meant to be wasted. And if you see someone happy and you don't understand, or if you just see someone existing and you don't understand, guess what? First off, they don't owe you a fucking explanation for existing. And second off, fucking don't get jealous of somebody else's happiness like a subconscious monkey, flinging their own shit and smelling it, huffing it, saying it's, like, good or something. Just figure out how to be happy. Maybe they could teach you. Because I can't fathom people in the comments on here being like, you're crazy, huh? Fucking drugs, huh? Fucking take a shower, huh? Piercings. As if you don't know you're immoral heathens. And I can't fathom people not trusting their gut, their basic common sense. And, like, I've always recognized that addiction is trauma, lack of human connection. And people who abuse innocent human beings for having health issues are scum of the earth. Absolute scum of the earth. And they will repent one day, but that's, you know, up to God. However, we are supposed to enforce peace. Rapists shouldn't exist in the first place. We shouldn't need a word for that. But the government is supposed to serve and protect. And I have noticed at times they like to incarcerate people for using medicines while they don't even give people the right medicines, don't even care, make them expensive, weaponize them, and then release rapists back into the public. Look, the only time that should ever happen is if it is a child who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing and they realize what the fuck they did. I'm just going to be blunt about these things, and I'm not going to be afraid to talk about them because I'm talking. What's wrong with talking? Are you so afraid to express yourself that you're going to get mad at me for it? Because I just can't fathom some of the comments I've gotten on this YouTube channel. It is absolutely abominable and absolutely disgusting because I have been abused so much in my life just for being myself and just for caring about people, literally caring enough to hold them accountable, and myself too, that the slightest amount I'm changing my name to Shiva because my parents abused me. So, and my name is so generic. David? What? You? Oh my god, I'm an artist. Shiva is the destroyer of evil. That's the only thing that's kept me alive. Because you want to know a secret? I almost died, and that's the last time anything like that is ever gonna happen. Because, look, I don't have to over-explain things. Sorry, I don't owe you an explanation. And over-explaining is a trauma response. Just because you don't understand things doesn't mean other people don't, because the systems aren't serving us. They're not teaching us. I have been working hard since I was 11 for this, and I do not mean to sound arrogant, because that shit's disgusting, but Righteous Fury is fucking pissed at all these heathens pretending to be holy and then abusing people. Like, look, dude, you really want to know? I was prescribed amphetamine when I was 5. Is that anybody's business but mine? No, it's actually not. Because if someone's not causing you harm, like, directly, what the fuck, man? And, like, we live in a society that will abuse people for expressing negative emotions. As if you're not allowed to get mad or upset. As if you can help it when you were raped. Especially, like, you don't know what that does to you unless you've had it happen. And anybody who's ever done that, like, they need to just go repent. And I don't want to go into too much detail about how I don't understand. I don't understand how anybody could be so evil in any way. I don't understand even the little bits of, oh, I'm gonna bully this guy because I don't like the way he looks, or he's been picking at his acne because he was raped. Because plenty of people prescribed Adderall don't have acne, actually. And I am extremely aware of myself. That's how I've been able to be my own therapist. And I don't expect you to know that it's worked and that I've made mountains of progress in short amounts of time. But I do expect you to have some basic decency and not assume that you know someone who you don't. And not to abuse people for having health issues. Like, I don't have an issue with addiction. I have an issue with trauma, though. That's for sure. And it would have been nice if the fucking healthcare, quote-unquote, system wouldn't have attempted to, like, indoctrinate me into a system that I feel like I didn't want to. I feel like my little child self was like, something's not right here. What are you guys doing? And they're like, here, take these drugs. Maybe they'll release enough endorphins or chemicals in your brain so that you'll enjoy learning. Well, that didn't work, dude. I have always felt the energy of things, and if it's not right, it's just not And like, we have to work through our trauma. And like, just because something makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong. Because, you know what? It's really not comfortable to be raped. And you don't know how hard it is having to express that. Let alone the society we live in. We literally are being economically enslaved by basic human needs being extorted from us, basically, since they're treated like luxuries. I'm still figuring out the best ways to say these things because I'm still learning. Like, I am sharing the final process of my complex post-traumatic stress disorder being healed because this world needs healing now. We can't ignore issues and let them get worse and worse and worse and worse, because that's what they'll do. They do say it gets darker before the dawn, and I feel like a lot of the cliches that we hear about, like, a lot of those are true, you know? Like, or at least there's truth to them. Some of them, however, have been manipulated because there's more to them and they've been misconstrued. Yeah, whatever. I do think not all of them are true. Like, for example, one of them that's complete, like, I don't know what the right word is, but one that's completely wrong is it's a dog-eat-dog world. Because we're not monkeys, we're not dogs, we're human beings. Part of our purpose here on this earth as human beings, collectively, is to embody the definition of humanity, as in having compassion and balancing logic with empathy and growing consciously far above that which the animal kingdom has the capability of. And that doesn't make us better than them. It doesn't make them our fucking playthings to go fucking put on factory farms and hunt for sport. That's fucking abominable, the things people do. So many things need to be talked about because we are better than this. But it means that we aren't supposed to shit all over our hearts and our souls, man. And that's what people are doing. And it just fucks everything up for everybody. Because the 300 billionaires are hoarding resources that are unfathomable and completely unnecessary, while human beings struggle just to survive. Just to fucking survive. And then you want to fight about it amongst each other instead of battling the real enemy, tyranny, and basic human needs being treated as luxuries. Because we don't have to agree on things. But, you're not gonna shit all over yourself in the world I live in. And then expect me to metaphorically suck your shit with a smile or something? Like, dude, materialistic. Oh, where's that one pen, dude? I have so many pens because I've just now been getting back into my art again. I'll just use this one. And I've been trying to find the pens that actually really work. I don't want this video to be too long. But, because I think if it's longer than 20 minutes, I need to check on what the length limit is. I tried to post this one video and it said it was too long. Maybe it's 30 minutes? Anyway, we are human beings, and we are not here to waste our lives away. We are here to thrive and rise above decay and thrive. Yeah.